And I think we're live. We're live. We're live.
That's quick. That's quick.
I'm ready to go. Oh man. We survived the winter.
I mean, have we?
I mean, we have it. We only get a week of it, and apparently try to kill us down here in Texas.
Oh no, it's just F's all around. Y'all failed it. Y'all failed at winter. It's okay. Texas does a lot of things right. You don't have to be good at everything, right, Texas?
Yeah, right. I can. I mean, the list isn't as long as we make it out to be. Just want to put that out there. As much as I love Texas, it's not as big,
as your ability to tell stories about yourself. Not as big as your confidence.
Yeah,
That's what it is. There you go.
Our ego.
Welcome to the
trucks.
Yes.
Our trucks.
Welcome to the Mid-Geek crisis.
Let's kick this off right. Episode 115. Ready to go. Welcome everyone to the Mid-Geek Crisis episode 115. I am not Guy Manuel.
Did you get that a lot?
Yeah.
I am cautious, so now that the news is out, I can announce that I was actually one of the members of Daft Punk.
I knew it. I knew it.
I was like, what will make people sad right now? I know, I'm going to break up my band.
Yeah.
That's what the world needs.
I mean, like, I don't even understand, like, how you can, like, Monday morning, you're just like, I literally woke up, it's like, my coffee was like, I'm gonna check my news feed. Oh, Daft Punk put up a video. Ooh, are they teasing a new album? Watch the video, it says epilogue. I'm like, Wait, what does that mean? Why is there a date? What? And then the news hit. Like as soon as they dropped that, they made sure that they had their publicist ready to answer the question. And
so professional.
I mean,
well,
yeah. Oh, by the way, Dan, yeah, you are absolutely right. We hit 80 degrees today here in Texas.
Oh, well done.
I mean, just wanted to we want to overcompensate for the fact that last week it was like 8 degrees.
Was 80 degrees also what your electric bill was? No, I'll stop. I know some folks are struggling paying their electric bills down there in Texas.
Tell about the grid, baby. Don't you? I mean, I read my news on Monday mornings. I'm just not expecting, like, if we're gonna talk about like politics or that kind of stuff, then sure, like, I'm used to that kind of like news hitting me right up front. But when it comes down to that particular bit of news, I was not prepared for that. I just wasn't prepared for it.
I honestly, I thought they died, which is a weird thing to say because the sad posts that I kept seeing about it was as if the band had
right,
as if bands never reunite for one more tour, right?
No,
like
well, here's the thought process here, and just to
why are we
anyone, the thought process here is that Daft Punk is one of those bands that they keep to themselves, right? When they come out with the publicity, they kind of
they get it done.
They get it done. They'll hit the road. They'll put out an album. They'll show up all over the place. The news feeds, the videos, the collaborations, the radio, the top 40 hit, that sort of thing, and then they kind of go away. And I mean, if we're gonna talk about gaps between albums, like the gap between Discovery to Random Access Memory was 7 years. 6
When did they
years?
last drop an album, Joe?
So the last album was 2013. I mean, Random Access Memory.
Completely different world. I saw a tweet that was something to the effect of like, I aspire to be a person who doesn't do anything for 8 years and then announces I quit. Right? That is like legendary to announce that you're going to quit after. Yeah, there it goes.
I aspire to live
Everyone's super sad about it. I'm like, what?
Yeah. I mean, that speaks volumes.
Yeah.
For their quality of work and what they've put out in the world.
To them, I appreciate them not announcing it in 2020. Right? We didn't need. I
Thank
thank you so much for holding until 2021.
Thomas Gamanuel, thank you so much for holding out till 2 months into 2021 to tell me that you're breaking up.
Yes.
So yeah.
Thanks
So
for
the
holding
idea
on.
is that they might
Thanks for
come
jumping out,
back
Kevin.
and do something. Maybe the split is so that each member could do something individually. I mean, I don't think they're done with music. I mean, the last album was pretty much a celebration of everything that inspired them to be Daft Punk. If you're a fan of them, Random Access Memory was all about like the disco and the funk and all of that,
Sure, yeah.
that music that inspired them to be kind of what they are. So for them to kind of hang up the helmets seems kind of awkward. So maybe it's a publicity stunt. Maybe I don't know. But
Maybe it's a precursor and announcement to the end of the world. It could be.
It could be.
Maybe could be one or the other.
I mean, they are robots. They know something we don't.
Exactly. Your planet's not worth conquering. Bye. Yeah, no, it's fine.
It's so good. I sat down and listened to it the other day. Yesterday afternoon, I put my headphones on and just listened to the whole thing, and it was just like it's almost overrated, underrated. As in, like, it had a lot of hits on the radio, but everyone remembers Get Lucky. But there's so many other songs on there that were not played that are just.
It's good stuff. Good stuff. And yeah, that's right, Kendo. Thank goodness that wasn't in 2020. So appreciate that.
Yes.
Everyone's listening to Daft Punk. I love it.
I mean, everyone. I mean, I'm sure they're number one right now. Their albums are spiked. What's interesting though is again, all their merch store was pulled down, so you can't buy anything directly from them. If you go to daftpunk.com, you can't go to their store, their albums, all their merch, all that's been pulled. If you go to daftpunk.com, all you get is the video. Like, it's just a black screen and that video that they.
So they're like, we're not even going to sell our merch anymore.
Well, I mean, you have to buy it elsewhere, but it won't be from their store
what
right
an
now.
Interesting play.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting play. They've always been. They are, if you're fans of that style, like Gorillaz and Daft Punk, and there's a few other bands that the persona that they put out there is the character. Mm-hmm. And the bombastic, but knowing them personally, like knowing that Gorillaz is like Damon Albarn, is you would have to know. But every track that they've played has had a collaboration with 4 or 5 different artists.
Right.
So you're like, I'm a fan of this song. Gorillaz. Well, yeah, but that's Damon Albarn, and then like 3 other people that only did that one song with them.
Right.
So that's what's cool about that is they were all about the music, and they would put out this caricature, this persona, this character, this thing, so that you could focus on, but you didn't have to worry about.
They had a brand, but the music was where it was at. Their brand spoke to them. Yeah. Sure, I dig it.
So
I dig it. Dan Camp out there is saying, and they quit music to start destroying the world. Sure,
I mean, sure.
And it looks like Emmers is on board. Okay with this. I'm okay with this.
I agree. I think I'm on that. Maybe like I said,
as long as they get really big and fight Kaiju, right? That's the world I'd like to live in.
Maybe that's what's
the world I want to live in.
Like Ultraman up in here.
They retired to go train how to do it, right?
Man, that would be so great. So yeah, Daft Punk, the band itself is no more. They shall live on. I'm a little bummed because I know we were supposed to be getting a new Tron movie, and they were all about doing the next. I mean, they've
been promising the new Tron for.
They have. So maybe we won't get them. Maybe we will. Maybe they've already recorded it and it's ready to go.
Which timeline would we wind up being if we get a new Tron and it's bad? Like, what is that?
I can't answer that question. It hurts too much. Path Dunk.
Brought to you by Asylum Films. It's going to be great.
So yes, I think everyone's been listening to it. I mean, if you go right now on Spotify, you'll see like number 1 tracks played right now is Daft Punk. It's genius.
Look at this. If we get a new Tron and it's bad, it will be the same timeline that we've already been in, my dude.
Boo this man. Boo.
Pergamene, you and I, we're like this.
There's no such thing as a bad Tron movie, just like there's no such thing as a bad David Lynch Dune
I think
movie.
I drove Pergamene crazy on a ride to PAX East talking about Tron Legacy and trying to redeem it, but there's no redemption for it to be had. It's long and involved and requires a lot of logical leaps to make it. A lot of
logical leaps, but you know what? We're willing to make that sacrifice.
We're willing to do anything.
We're willing to do anything to save that movie, for sure. Even the bad CGI. Oh, the bad CGI.
So much bad stuff.
Oh gosh.
permanent Groundhog Day of 2020. You know what? Emmers, thank you so much for that segue. As I want to talk about how it feels like we're living the same life over and over and over again. Illinois rep wants to ban all violent video games to curb violence, and I can't. This comes by way of Polygon, right? This is an Illinois representative who wants to pass some laws to ban violent video games once again.
Who was the lawyer from Florida that Penny
Jack
Arcade?
something or other, Jack Thompson, I want to say, or John Thompson.
Yeah, Jack Thompson, Jack something. He was the guy that for years he was like the antagonist to the video game, like.
And now he's been disbarred, I believe.
No, he was disbarred for the craziness.
I just how many times do we have to teach you, right? Like I just like how many
times have I told you, old man?
Right, exactly. And every few years, some person comes out of the woodwork to say it's the video games, and I can't help but be like, is it? What have we all been doing at home for 10 months and not violent? We've all been playing video games, all of us.
Where else are we supposed to? Where else are we supposed to get our pent up rage pulled out? Like what they want to take the Call of Duty away from us? Oh, and you wonder what's going to happen.
Yeah, or make me have to show my ID? Like really? Come on. I just want my Call of Duty, man.
Honestly, like it's
a total waste of time. It's to draw press, right? Politicians they mastered getting hits before getting hits was a thing, right? They know how to get those clicks on their websites. They know how to get those clicks and rage machine going.
Yeah, it's a total, like, I didn't even see that story, but like you brought it up and I was like,
I've got radar for it. Every time I see anything about video games and violence, I'm always like, no proof of this. This is nonsense. Let me write a letter.
Nonsense.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Speaking of shallow, did you watch shallow and I guess boring? Did you watch any of BlizzCon?
No, I did not watch anything at BlizzCon. I thought I guess I formally gave up on BlizzCon because Tencent.
I think Blizzard gave up on BlizzCon.
We gave up on Blizzard.
So okay. So I'm not even gonna.
All right, thanks, kiddo. No, that's the general answer from all of the internet. Yeah, pretty sure Cautious canceled BlizzCon.
So BlizzCon was an interesting thing, right? Like, first off, it was virtual, so the things that were all announced was just.
This is the event where they announced the mobile Diablo game, and everyone was like crickets. This was a BlizzCon as well, right? Yeah,
that was last year. What is it? Diablo Immortal is what it was.
That was last year?
Yeah, it was last year, man.
All right.
Remember, don't you have phones?
I mean, like, I don't have any sense of time anymore as to what occurred in the before times. It's all ancient to me now.
The ancient scripts and texts.
Exactly. I don't. Everything announced now, I'm like, oh wait, that was just a little while ago.
Yeah. So let's see. And again, I'm not even.
It was a Diablo 4 announcement, right? Or did I dream that?
Yeah, they announced the Rogue.
That's what I thought. So that was 2018. 2019 was no, wait, that was, wait, no, I don't know. You know what? Internet to the internet. Find it out for us. What
really?
year
was 2018 the year that they announced the
I think we made fun of those in the show, and we weren't doing this show in 2019 when we did the show.
Maybe it was 2 years ago. Either way, that still hasn't come out, so that didn't come out. You and I have talked about this on the show about how people want to relive stuff.
Yeah, over and over
again. So I think Blizzard has given up. They've just become a cycle of their own. So like here they are. What did they announce? They announced Burning Crusades for WoW Classic.
Dude, that was the first expansion, right?
Yeah. So think about this. They went to the future. They got to the expansion they're at now, but they realized that they're not as popular then, so they just went back and just keep re-releasing. Eventually, we're gonna do a full cycle, right? We're just gonna go through all of the expansions re-released again.
I don't know if did we reboot? Like, did the whole universe just reboot, and now we're just doing the same things we did 10 years ago?
Apparently, but we know we rebooted, and we're okay with it. Like, I think
wasn't there an Ashton Kutcher film about this? Like, yes.
Is it that butterfly effect?
Yes. So yes, Burning Crusade. I'm actually excited for. I've always wanted to play a Sun Elf. Sun Elf, is that what they're called? The other elves,
the sunburn ones,
the opposite of night elves. Yes,
yeah,
the Sun Elves.
That and Diablo 2 remaster was announced, so we get.
I saw that.
Apparently, everyone's excited to play a game that we can play right now. with mods and been improved by the community.
But they're going to take all those mods and make it their own.
Right. They'll just steal all those. All those quality of life things, they'll just steal and make them their own.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Dan Camp.
Thank you, Dan. Yeah, so it was 2 years ago. Wow, it's been a long time.
It's 3 years ago.
3 years ago.
Because we're in 2021.
They announced
3 years ago. That's amazing.
Let's see what else. They did some smaller announcements, right? And they showed off a few of the changes for Overwatch 2. I'm really surprised that we still don't have a release date, a full trailer, anything like that.
Well, they're famous for it'll be done when it's done, right? That's mm-hmm. Yeah. Are you excited for Overwatch 2?
I mean, I like.
Does it have a campaign? Someone was telling me that it had a campaign, like a single player co-op campaign.
It has more of a story, right? It's Overwatch 2 is what Overwatch 1 should have been, but instead of them fixing Overwatch 1, they just moved it all to Overwatch 2.
That's fair. Why ruin the cash cow that is Overwatch 1, right?
But I think that's the problem. It's they've lost thousands of their players.
Every game goes through that, right? It's not like you can hold on to your players forever.
Right.
Fortnite is the only one that's done it. Even they shed thousands of players, right?
Yeah, but
people come back and
they're still able to do big things like have big crossovers. Which did you see the crossover for this week?
Yeah, I don't know. Is it Deadpool? I have no idea anymore.
Who's your Dream Journal person for Fortnite?
Baron Harkonnen.
How'd you know?
Pergavy's like Avril Lavigne. That hurts. That hurts a little bit, Pergavy. That feels a little personal. But how cool would a Fortnite crossover would be with the Sadu car showing up? How amazing would that be?
I mean,
all those 12-year-olds being like, "What?
Don't knock it. WB owns the rights. So I mean, they've allowed other.
I'm gonna cut. If you do it, it was my idea.
Yep.
What? Oh my god. I had no idea. No idea.
So Ryu running around with a freaking AK.
I'm glad Chun-Li found some work if she was turned down for Mortal Kombat, right?
I don't know why she's not in it, bro. I don't. That's a total mistake.
And I mean, we're referencing and Ryu's got a gun. Yes, exactly. Hadouken, nah. Yeah, there are times that I almost want to play Fortnite. You're coming this close, Dan. Close.
They're eventually going to have a character or a skin that'll pull you in. And
I'll come back for Baron Harkonnen.
Yeah. Oh, dude, give me Duncan Idaho and Big Jason Momoa skin, just but then you also join the game with an Aquaman skin with his same, so it's just Duncan Idaho running around with
look each other
what the
what's going on here?
No,
nice Game of Thrones skin. Imagine you could play a whole team with Jason Momoa skins, right? Thank you, Facebook user, anonymous Facebook user.
I think it has something to do with whatever stream they're watching, and they comment on that particular stream. So, but yes, if you're not familiar, I'll pull up that story. That was such a weird.
It was a really good troll. This is a Jezebel story that they published.
It wasn't a troll originally, by the way.
It must have been a troll originally.
It was not. They had to add an update at the bottom.
You would add the update later to be like, no, this had to be. It would take all of 2 seconds to research Chun-Li's place in the fighting game universe. There's no way this is a real article.
Who forgot to invite Chun-Li to Mortal Kombat? Cinema is back, baby, in a big way. Forget the tour films of award season where two people stand at the edge of a cliff somewhere in the Great Britain waiting for each other. Yeah, Mortal Kombat trailer came out. We'll play that in a second. I'm totally okay with that.
All right, let's rock and roll.
We shall totally.
It's red banded.
It's okay. I won't play audio. And there we go. So I definitely won't play the audio because that'll definitely trigger.
Sync of your computers, kids. Right? We have to avoid being shut down by Twitch.
It's interesting. It looks great. I think the only violent part is this part right here. And
Is Jack's going to lose his arms? All right,
yes,
yeah.
that's it. But it's looking good. It's in the can. We're gonna get it free with HBO Max. So
Yeah, I
uh,
mean, I'm glad it's free on HBO Max, right? That's what I'm all about.
I'm all
Look at
about it.
it.
Got a Mortal Kombat tattoo, bruh. I got one too. I'm not in it. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, Kyle, stop punching my drywall. I know you love Mortal Kombat.
Choking that monster, baby. No, so of course we've got a new trailer for the Mortal Kombat movie, and we had an article about why Chun-Li was not in
So
it.
is it like Mystery Tournament? They have to save the world kind of thing? Is that
Apparently, you're born when you're born as a contestant. You're born with the birthmark.
Oh, you're branded with your ticket to
with
Fight
your
Town.
ticket to
Got
fight.
it. Okay.
Yep, that's exactly it. So on April
got it.
16th, so in 2 months, so it'll be the April movie on HBO Max.
I got it. And there was some scandal that Chun-Li was not cast in this film. Was not even written about at all.
Yeah.
Or Chun-Li.
Look, I'm upset if we don't get a cameo with Christopher Lambert in the background somewhere as Raiden. I'm gonna be sad. Just saying.
He would have been in the trailer. I think they would have teased it in the.
Nah. I would love a cameo with one or two of the actors from the original movie. I mean,
that's a pretty good Goro. Is that his name? I don't even remember.
Goro,
that's it.
Scorpion, Sub-Zero. We had Melina. It's looking good, man. It's looking good.
Oh darn.
Yeah, man. It's and of course the famous "Get Over Here." It ends with the "Get Over Here" line.
Of course. Get over here and get to the theaters.
Yep.
I can get behind it. I mean, let's just keep making it. Again. Everything old is new again, right? Which
yeah, I mean, that movie itself has been in production limbo, production hell for years. They've been trying to make a new Mortal Kombat movie for a few years now. It finally started filming early last year, late 2019, and of course, I mean, it's ripe. It's ripe for the picking, right? There's been multiple.
Is
games.
it?
It is.
Maybe I'm not as familiar with the rich story of Mortal Kombat.
You haven't played any of the story from any of the modern Mortal Kombats, like
I haven't played a single Mortal. I haven't played Mortal Kombat since it was like motion capture part.
I honestly play the Mortal Kombat games for the story. Ever since the 2013 one.
You also go watch Transformers for the story.
Well,
Joe,
yes, but
so...
honestly,
I'm talking Michael Bay Transformers. I'm not
anybody in the. Have you heard about the Pi Day Scott situation? I have not. What?
Who's Pi Day Scott? Do you know who Pi Day Scott is?
We just lost a viewer for you saying that. Let's because they're like, look at these old fogies.
Yes. And then they cast Chun-Li as a blonde named Sonya. Yep, no, that's what I've heard.
They cast her as blonde.
A real Ghost in the Machine moment, I guess, is what's happening.
Look, they've been trying to make this movie for a while. The lore has gotten pretty deep within the last few games. You know, the campaign is actually really good, which is why like the Injustice games are really good because they were able to kind of get good writers to write this long, good single player campaign. And so for a fighting game, it's rare to have like a 3-hour movie / story mode in it, you know, and it's pretty good. It's really good. If you ever get a chance,
I don't understand how the story couldn't be anything but I'm going to figure out a way to contrive a duel between two people in the middle of something, right? Isn't that what the
storyline has always been that Mortal Kombat was supposed to be a tournament that allows one dimension, one realm to take over and control another.
There's a lot of really wild time and dimensional travel stuff. Yes, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So it goes a lot of back and forth between a lot of god treachery, very, very the elder gods that kind of control that, like the Mount Olympus kind of gods that overwatch the tournament have also been cheating and like doing, you know, they don't want to lose their power. Everyone is all about power and control and controlling the realms and all that kind of stuff. And so there's a lot of like back and forth, backstabbing, time travel, characters that have been pulled from one dimension to another, and it's
so
fun.
We could have Chun-Li.
We could have Chun-Li.
I'm hearing all this, and I'm like, I don't see an obstacle to some crossover.
Let's be honest here. If you play the game, the most modern game, Mortal Kombat 11, you have Rambo in the game. You have you have Terminator, you have the Predator, you have I think you had Freddy Krueger in the last one. Like you've got these characters that get brought in from horror franchises and horror sci-fi franchises that really fit the Mortal Kombat aesthetic. RoboCop's in the game.
That's pretty awesome. I'd like. Yeah. I mean, why not reboot RoboCop inside the reboot of Mortal Kombat? That would be amazing. Why not?
Do it,
Let's
right?
do it.
I mean, just think about what character. I mean, Spawn is in the game as well.
Because he's a horror comic. Okay, I get where this is going now.
Like they tend to have certain characters in it that kind of fit that aesthetic. You know, a character that's willing to do a fatality move, right? That's the thing. You wouldn't put a character that won't like rip someone's heart out.
All right.
And RoboCop is more that brutal justice. You know, like.
I dig it.
Yeah. So yeah,
I dig
Mortal Kombat
it.
movie. Go check it out. Chun-Li is not in it, sadly. So if you were holding out for that, it's not happening.
Todd McFarlane's Mortal RoboCombat. Hopefully they put out the toys too, right? Let's bring back Todd McFarlane toys. Why not? Let's bring that back,
baby.
Are they? They never left. They
never left. Speaking of video games with tons of violence, we have a game that is finally now in board game. Something that's uber violent and
intolerably violent.
Stardew Valley is now
on untended farms.
Are you ready to play this? Or are you gonna date your co-op?
Stardew Valley, baby. So, okay. So, all right.
So,
all right.
Speaking real quick,
is it just a farm simulator? I
think
game?
So. What is it? Seven Wonders? You just manning crops and
I don't
making
get it.
relationships?
Wait, what kind of Seven Wonders did you? What? This is why Joe always loses.
It's Puerto Rico. It's a Euro style, right?
Agricola. What is it? Right, but it's a cooperative game, which I dig. I always like a good cooperative game. It looks adorable.
Let's find out. Let's find
all
out.
All right.
Let's find out here. Let's share that with some audio so that we can...
Pergamene got all the keywords: farm builder, light relationship, sim elements. I love it. Co-op farm builder with light.
It's not a roguelite though, so I don't know if I can play it. I see your face. You're like, ooh. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, man, that
from that look
of
with no description of the gameplay, it's a beautiful looking game. How do you win is my next question, right? So I'd be curious to figure out how the cooperative team wins. Do I have to fish all the 5 fish out and someone else to see, make sure their turns are devoted to kicking out the corporation, right? Like, I don't know. How do you win this? I know how to win Pandemic. I'm curious how you win this. Yeah, exactly, Emers. I love board games, and I love Stardew Valley. I don't know that I needed them together, but maybe in a world where we're not allowed to get together anymore, we kind of aspire to live in the Stardew Valley one more time.
I mean, okay, so let's put it this way. What's interesting about a game like Stardew Valley is that it's a Zen game, right? Like you play it by yourself. Does it have multiplayer?
It did after a certain patch or two. I played it by myself because I had no
right, but it's definitely like a very Zen game. You're like minding your farm. You're kind of doing that. You're making it's like the music is just very, but it's also kind of cathartic. And there's a lot of games, a lot of board games that are very co-op friendly that are kind of like that. I mean, we've played a lot of them. What's the one that we played? Photosynthesis or whatever. That's very like
Photosynthesis with the trees. That's a great little board game, right? Yeah, that's good. There's it's very. One too, it's just like you're just growing trees and it's territory controllable without the war aspect, which is pretty neat, right?
Right. So think about this as like maybe a.
It could be Scythe without the war game aspect, right? Conquering aspect. It could be. All right. So that's a good pitch. I like that. And Pergamene says, pretty sure you have to achieve Grandpa's goals like the third year of the video game. You know, I think it wasn't until the second year of me playing that video game that I realized there were goals, right? This is where I totally missed a lot of the game. But I was just looking to mac on all of the single folks and catch the fish. That was my Stardew Valley
I
experience.
couldn't get into it.
Because it's as much as so Joe, I love you to death. You are my boy. I will lie in the street for you, my man. You will say to the end of the earth that you want an open world game, but you don't. You want a game with clear lines of engagement.
You might be right,
steps to get there.
I mean, don't get me wrong. All of those style games give me raging.
I know you're like, oh gamer, I want it so bad. Give it to me, and then you spend like 8 minutes playing, and you're like, eh.
I dumped. I wanted to commit, right? So like I got Stardew Valley, and I dumped.
He's like, what if they had a Rambo kiss?
I'd be in it. I mean, like, how do I unlock him? How do I unlock Rambo
in
Stardew Valley? Like, no, I'm serious. I'm not about the ultra-violent games in no way, shape, or form. So Stardew Valley was my jam. Like, I'm all about the chill games, and the game just. There was way more management of resources than I thought was. I mean, my kiddo plays it, and he's like all about it, and I'm just like, I'm sitting there watching him like, this is interesting. But what's interesting about him is he like was like, I'm stuck, and then he goes to YouTube and watches someone else play the game for an hour or two, and then he goes back with those rules
and goes and plays it that way.
Plays it that way. So like. I mean, that's cool, but I don't do that, so maybe I'm missing that element. I'm not saying that everyone does that, but there's that element of, like, social gaming without social gaming. A lot of people will go on Twitch and watch someone play Stardew Valley for 2-3 hours, and then when they pick up the game, they know how to do a lot of that stuff because they saw someone else do it, but they'll do it their own way.
Yeah, I that's definitely one way to enjoy the game, right?
I'm not saying that is the
a lot
way,
of it's trying to optimize your day, which I can see you rebelling against. Like I can see you being like, why do I have to wake up at 6 a.m? Why do I have to do this? Why are the stores only open between 10 and 2, right? You'd be mad about those things. And then like Christmas would pass and you'd be like, I missed Christmas because I didn't sign in. Like you'd be mad about these things. And I can see you like not enjoying the game.
So with Animal Crossing, what's interesting is that I still play it.
You time travel though, don't I?
No, I don't. But what I do, I don't time travel. What I do is I have my Switch permanently set to California time. So you
always.
So genius. What that means is because when I'm sitting down at 9:00 at night to sit down and play a game of Animal Crossing, shit's closed.
Yeah.
So if I have things set 2 hours back at 7:00, and so I'm not changing the
I should
clock
actually
ever.
set mine ahead now that I think about it, because I like to wake up in the morning is what I used to do. The store wasn't open, so I'd play at 6 a.m. and there's no stores open. I get in like 20, 30 minutes.
Just set yours 2 hours.
That's actually very smart.
Permanently set your time zone. Like I'm not talking about changing all the time. Just do it once and then play the game that way, because then it's adjusted to your circadian rhythm, right?
No, I love it. It's genius, Joe. Genius. Genius. And Sanctimonia would log in. I do that with No Man's Sky, watch a few hours on Twitch or YouTube, and then go and do it in my game. I did it as well. I love No Man's Sky. Played hardcore mode for about, I want to say I got about 20 hours. Fell through my frigate on one of the old bugs. Died in space. It's like... to be fair to Sanctimony, I then went and watched videos of people falling out of their frigates, which was hilarious in its own way, right? So yeah, exactly, Pergamene.
And you really played the
I played hardcore mode, permadeath mode. And that's really what I got my rocks off. I shouldn't say it that way. I got all the excitement and adrenaline of playing it that way, and I got that frigate first flight, fell out of it. It was amazing. It was like. It was a perfect gamer moment.
I think I played for
just like that.
I fell out of one of those loading docks. Like when you dock in and then like you get out of your ship and then they've got like the holes at the bottom so you could just like leave. I fell out of that and that was it. I mean, it was like, wait, what? What happened? Wait, they don't warn a brother? Like, how am I supposed to know that? Like,
there's only one way to find these things out.
You die 18 hours into your game.
But, to be fair to the game, Joe, I think you died about 20 minutes into our first game together, our first co-op game on No Man's Sky.
We did.
You were like, I can't find oxygen. I'm like, I'm coming, bro.
I did the same. New Leaf had to think, right. Kendo, that's exactly it. On New Leaf on 3DS, there was a mode called Night Owl. So there were these conditions you could turn on on
so you like flip a couple switches and say I play at night.
So it was because you were the mayor, you would set specific rules in your town, and so Night Owl was one of them that you could set. There was also another one that was like
so you'd pass a law saying that people had to work till 2 a.m. because you were awake?
Yeah. And
this is a monstrous capitalist game.
And of course, everyone's all happy about it too. Everyone's like, "Yay! Welcome home, mayor!" Because you're the mayor. But with there was also another one. So one of the things is there was a clean town one where allowed you to have you would never grow weeds. Like your town would never get overrun with weeds. You would have
that would be ideal.
So basically, you could always log in a week later, 2 weeks later, and then not have to worry about cleaning up your town because what was going on behind the scenes is all your town folk were doing that for you.
They were actually picking up the weeds.
I mean, they don't show them do that, but that's what the
my island is completely covered in them. That and my kids' junk. It looks like my living room. My kids' junk is everywhere, and this weed's growing. Like it's just everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I logged in.
Early bird for morning people. Yeah.
I logged in on Valentine's Day, and the last time I had logged in was New Year's. And of course, I did the hair shake thing and whatnot. I still had my 2020 hat on from the night before. So,
you're like, "Hey guys, what's happened in the last 6 weeks?"
What's hilarious is I walk up to one of my members, and he looks at me, and obviously it's just a rando comment, but he's like, "Oh man, that must have been a raging party. I haven't seen you in so long." And I was like, "That fits well." They know.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff.
What else do we have? Speaking of video games and
good stuff.
GameStop exec, what is it? The CFO or one of the CCOs or one of the big wigs from GameStop has left the company with a $2.8 million severance package.
I love it.
Because once you get to a specific point in life, you can only fail upwards, right?
You can literally do nothing for 8 months and get $2.8 million. What did he do? What did this person do to earn $2.8 million? The stock went up for a week and a half, right? Is what happened here. Signed up in 2019, affords him a severance bonus of double his combined annual salary and an annual bonus opportunity resulting in the $2.8 million windfall. What a contract. That is
I mean, you got to think
about it. Spectacular.
I worked for a company for 11 years, and I got a pat on the back when I left. But apparently this guy...
I did 15 and got paid to sit on the couch for a little while, which, I'd have loved $2.8 million to do that, right? But it wasn't the worst.
This guy joined in 2019, right?
Yeah.
Can you imagine, like, think about the level of, like... I don't know. I don't want to say entitlement because I'm not saying that this guy might not have the business acumen to run this, but like being able to walk into a job for a year and a half and walk out with $2.8 million in severance,
having not turned the company around,
right? Because GameStop has not turned ship. It is not moving up. It is ever declining.
Mm-hmm. I worked. I got a free copy of L.A. Noire. Very nice.
Yes, it is, Justin. Yes, it is. Yes. It's the show multicast everywhere, and then at the end of the show, it is up and ready to go to watch on YouTube. So feel free to give us a watch, Justin.
Yeah. Thanks for joining. Also, StreamYard is the service we use to accomplish all of this magic.
Yeah, it's a fantastic service. Mm-hmm. Let's see here. I worked at GameStop for about as long as... By free copy, you meant it fell through the cracks, or was it tossed because it was too scratched?
It's because they had stacks of them, right? This was like the big... they were just like, here you go.
Yeah, well, it's a Rockstar game, so it's overprinted, and then so it comes out...
It was overhyped. It was a decent game. It just wasn't as great as it was supposed to give us. And yeah, you're right, roles, most high-level executives, performance goes side of stock, hell of a time to go. Yeah. They're at 40 something now, so I like the stock.
I mean, no, you're absolutely right. Emmer's superstition. I mean, by all means, at any point in time, if there was a time to bail ship, you bail ship when it's at the top of that wave. You're like, I'm gonna jump out. I'm not gonna jumping out at the bottom of the ocean.
Is he like, I did this? He did. This is like a random moment in time that they managed to.
No, what was it? Big Nuts 27 on Reddit did this, right? No, what was his name? Ninja Balls 15? No,
pretty sure it was none of those.
I don't know.
It might have been D's balls.
Yeah,
I think it might have been.
D's balls 83.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I guess
fact.
Testified. Everybody loved Big Nuts 47. Yes. Yep. What a guy.
Rolls, my man. Yes, free popcorn, $1 hot dogs, $1 nachos, baby, at the AMC. That was the.
Is that when you worked at the AMC?
Free movies whenever you wanted. You just walk in.
Nice.
If a family member wanted to come and you were on shift, you could just tell a manager to kind of give you a ticket for them, and they would do that.
One ticket.
Free popcorn, $1 hot dogs, $1 nachos. That was the life, man.
This is why they're going out of business. They gave this perks to their employees.
Yeah,
they
well, they
also
charged $15 for those same nachos for everyone else. So I think a bag
$1
of
hot dogs because they're like $12 if you go in there as a normal customer.
What sucks is when you work at a place like AMC, you're spoiled for hot dogs because first off,
you're spoiled for hot dogs.
Let me explain this. And again, Rolls, you'll know what I'm talking about. Those specific hot dogs are a specific SKU, all beef, Oscar Mayer, made only for movie theaters, made only for AMC. They were a specific size.
It's the high quality dogs.
High quality dogs. High quality. So, no matter what, once you leave that theater environment, if you want to replicate that dog by buying that particular hot dog at a store, wasn't going to happen. You couldn't find it.
Welcome to the Mid-Geek crisis, where we yearn for movie theater hot dogs.
We do. I'm just saying, man.
Pour a little out for the AMC dog.
Although, what was hilarious is, and again, you as someone that's like asset managed and all that, you know what counts in inventory.
Yeah.
The inventory at AMC was all about the cups and the bags. So the product in it, the juice. It costs nothing. It's all flavored water, but the cup. So we could drink all the drink we wanted, but we'd have to use these styrofoam cups. We weren't allowed to use like the AMC cups. Those cups were. I mean, to do inventory at the end of the month, you have to go and count every cup.
There are worse things to yearn for, Emmers. And wouldn't it be nice to go back to the days where we can get one of those dogs, right? We can eat one of those dogs at a movie theater. So we definitely yearn for some movie theaters. Even who don't go usually.
The COVID dog of 2020 was legit.
That was a real shit dog.
So thank you for reminding me, and I'm going to bring that up right now.
Thanks for jumping on to the relapse.
So if you aren't familiar, the 21st of February was the 35th anniversary of the American release of The Legend of Zelda on NES. I'm talking about it here because Zelda's a fantastic franchise. I feel like the new leadership at Nintendo has really dropped the ball here. Again, Doug Bowser hasn't really had a chance to kind of flourish, especially with 2020 being with COVID and a lot of game delays and development and all that kind of stuff. But I'm really surprised that Nintendo couldn't at least mention something.
So is 35 a milestone for a lot of games?
Yeah, so Pokemon.
Why is 35 and not 25 better?
So Pokemon did 20 and 25 and 15 and 10 every 5 years. Mario just did 35th anniversary. The whole year of Mario has done a 35. Zelda has done 25. They did 30.
All right, so we were all anticipating a 35.
So,
I dig it.
And I'm not saying it's not going to happen, but it's now the physical date. Yesterday or actually Sunday should have been the day that would have started the year of Zelda.
It came and went, and no one recorded it.
But not even a mention. What's sad about this is let me bring this up here. Here is their Twitter feed for that time, and here's February 20th, right? They're talking about Bravely Default, which is a game that's coming out this Thursday. I'm excited for it.
Is that a tactics game?
Yeah, it's like a tactics style
awesome.
Square Enix game. It's great. Here is the 21st, the day of the part-time UFO is what they mentioned. We're talking about the biggest cash cow franchise game
that isn't Mario. Yes.
And not a mention. Not a mention, not a post, not a nothing.
That's sad. There's nothing at all for Link and Zelda. We can
nothing at all.
And
we're not even going to talk about the fact that they are known for ignoring a lot of other franchises. It's also the 35th anniversary of Metroid, and we haven't gotten anything for 20, 25 years, 30 years, nothing. 35.
When was the last time we had a Metroid game? When was the last Metroid game? that we were hyped for.
I mean, the last Metroid game was the re-release of Metroid 2 for Game Boy on the 3DS. So it was Return of Samus. So they re-released that game in a new engine and all that. Really nice, good game. But before that, I mean, we got amiibos for that one. That was a fantastic release. But I mean,
Metroid 2 3DS is what
Metroid 2 3DS.
That's a long time for
that's a. I mean, it's a good game, but it's just a re-release. The last original Metroid game was Other M on the
It's
Wii.
wild. It's literally its own genre. We call games Metroidvania games, and we haven't had a Metroid game in forever. That's sad.
Right, and thank you for bringing that up. They stomped out AM2R. If you're not familiar with what AM2R is, it is it is a fan remake of that particular game. So AM2R is again, Metroid 2 for Game Boy was a really good game. It was legitimately the sequel to the first Metroid on NES.
I remember how good it was, yeah.
It was really good, but it was also like you were playing on a handheld, black and white. I mean, it needed some quality of life fixes. So someone, a fan in 2016, released a game called AM2R, another Metroid
2 remake.
And it's a fantastic game if you can find it, because it's no longer available on his website. Nintendo sent a cease and desist, but it has been ported to everything. You can find it on the Vita, on the 3DS, on the Switch. If you have a hack Switch, someone has created from source. They've created the game. It's a fantastic game. It's using a lot of the sprites from Super Metroid on SNES, some original artwork, original assets, that sort of thing. Great game.
So it's like a kit bash that they put together.
It's like a kit bash, but it's a great game written in their own engine. So it's not like they took a hack of a game and then ported it to like SNES. They rewrote a whole engine and it runs as a PC title.
That's awesome.
So that was the best Metroid game we had gotten since anything else. But here we are at the 35th anniversary of Metroid. Metroid Anniversary is actually next month. Officially, it's 1 month difference in time from the release from the original Zelda. But again, there's tons of franchises. So
this original Zelda date, is this the Japanese release date or the American release date?
No, but the Japanese release date was before that.
Oh, okay, right. So, I just didn't know if
they didn't even announce it then.
Did they have a celebration for the Japanese release date?
So what we've announced, again, we talked about this on the Direct. They had a Direct, and one of the things that they announced for the Nintendo Direct was they did announce the re-release of Skyward Sword for Switch, which is we're all excited for.
Everyone's going to pin the two together.
Yeah, I think
Nintendo will kick up the Zelda celebration in July after Skyward Sword.
I'm not saying that
released,
Nintendo isn't going to do something. I mean, it would be silly of them not to talk about the fact that they're re-releasing Skyward Sword, the game that is based on it's timeline wise, it's the very first Zelda game, honestly, in the whole Zelda timeline. It's also a game that's really badly liked, like. It was on the Wii. The control scheme was very polarizing. Either you liked it or you hated it. And
because you had to do this, right? You had
to. So it was like the idea was like you had your Wiimote and if there were enemies that were keyed, right? So like let's say for example there was the one of the plant villains, they look like the piranha plants, the Deku plants. They would open their mouth this way, or then they'd stop and then they'd open their mouth sideways. So the split in their mouth meant that you'd have to swing the sword this way or this way to kill them. You physically had to swing the Wiimote.
Yeah, that's what I remember the old Wiimotes.
Left or right. So
it's what immediately turned me off because I didn't want to move. I was like, what is this?
Right. So I remember beating that game and, you have to swing, etc. But what sucked is because while accelerometers are good, they would go out of whack. So you'd have to pause the game and then put it face down on the table so that it would resync your accelerometers so that you could swing properly, because eventually you'd be swinging and you'd be going up and down and it would be like all wonky, all weird.
It would read wrong and drive you crazy.
Yeah. So the release on the Switch that's coming out in July will have new, will have actual control buttons, and you can also use the Switch
if you wanted to motion control your way through it, like a.
Dan, for sure. I think there should have been like a hey. We're acknowledging the 35th anniversary. Today is that day. Starting in July, or starting April 1st, since March 31st is considering the last date of Mario, they'd be like, hey, starting April 1st, we'll start the celebration of Zelda 35th. Stay tuned for more news on that day.
Why tease anything if you're Nintendo?
I know.
Why?
I mean, they don't have to.
The fans will be mad no matter what, so I would not tell them nothing.
I think they're a very conservative company in how they release their news. I get that. It just seems a little disappointing that you couldn't have at least acknowledged it with a tweet by going, hey, here's the
Happy 35th.
Happy 35th.
Happy
We'll
35th.
talk. We're excited for Skyward Sword coming out in July. Stay tuned for more news.
Yeah, there you go. But they've got a weird. I don't know. They're weird.
Yeah. I wonder if people's Joy-Cons will go the way of Mario 64 with all the sorts of maybe. Yeah. I mean,
as in through the TV.
Through the TV. or
a teaser would have been nice. In this day and age, you should always be teasing your next release, right?
Yeah.
You got to start the hype train sooner and sooner, right? You got to get folks on board. As in drifting out of control, right? Yes. Drifting out of control. Yep.
I got one sitting on my desk that I got to fix the drift on.
My kiddo is now experiencing it with hers, and she'll look at me like I betrayed her. Like she's looking at me with eyes that say, "Daddy, why did you get me this faulty equipment? What is this?" And I'm like, let me tell you some stories. Like, you're going to learn how to play this way, kiddo.
I had a Mad Catz controller back in my day. Exactly. that I gave to all my little brothers.
I had buttons that broke off, right? We pulled the plastic off the Atari sticks. Come on. Palm against the joystick. Yeah. You got a little drift. Oh.
Yeah, right. So the N64 one, right? So if this was your Joy-Con or your N64 controller, the way that you would do the moves on Mario Party would be you'd put it on your palm and you'd go. Yeah, talk about that's why you can't find good first party N64 controllers now because they're all broken from Mario Party.
Well, the ones I gave you worked fine because I didn't actually play Mario Party.
Yeah,
right?
they worked fine. Yeah.
I forgot about these. Yeah, that's right. You forgot about de-sleeving the Atari controllers. That's something we did.
You can hear the pop. You could feel the resistance.
Yep. And you'd stick it on your brother's head and
send my drifting because wife makes it upset. Oh wow. So Nintendo has a ring. Oh, like a doorbell, right? You sent them the doorbell to Nintendo. I'm interested to hear about that one.
There's a lot of brands in that. I feel like maybe Dan got some money off that particular note in our stream there.
Degloving?
Yeah, degloving works. De-sleeving, de-sleeving both work.
Yeah.
So what are you working on for your game as we're rolling this out, right? What are you working on here?
What am I playing? So I'm trying to finish Super Mario 3D World.
There you go.
Posted videos that I've been playing that I'm almost done. I'm in the Bowser world, and I've got to unlock when I get the credits there. That'll count. I'm still gonna play a little more to unlock the extra worlds and all that because I'm enjoying it.
Just put that credit screen up, man. I did that with Dark Age Tactics. I beat it once, and then I waited until I beat it again to post the credits, just because I wanted to beat it on New Game Plus mode. So.
What are you working on right now for your 52? And again, if you're first time watching for a while, Pedro and I are doing a 52 games in 52 weeks. We're trying to beat 52 games for the end of the year. Just to the credits. Of course, no percentage matters if you make it. As long as you make it to the credits, take a picture of the credits and put it up on the group post.
Yeah, let us know what you're playing and beating it. Specifically, Joe's resolution is to beat 52 games. My resolution is to beat 52 games before him. Right?
Yeah,
that's really.
There he goes.
That's really.
Before me.
It's really a competition level here.
I like that. I like it, and it keeps the blood flowing.
Keeps the trash talking going.
Absolutely.
It's actually I feel bad about not getting all the achievements though, Joe. I'm going to be honest with you. There's a part of me that's like, oh, but I've got 800. Why wouldn't I just get the last 200 by playing the game out?
Again, you could slow it down. And
I can't. I gotta crush you.
I
can't. And this is like the two parts of me in conflict. I have to crush you or get all the achievements. This is tough for me.
Right. Right. Real quick bit of news that launched today. I wanted to talk about it before the end.
Oh, that's right. Yes, let's throw this last one up there.
This is a good one because, again, Sony doing what Sony does in a very nonchalant kind of way. Sony this morning, at 9 o'clock in the morning, just released a post on their blog, on their Sony blog, announcing that they are working on a next gen headset for PSVR, for the VR headset.
I hope it's not that one.
That
one looks kind of silly.
It works. That's a great one. That's the one that's out for the PS4 one. And
is it really? It looks.
It's comfy. It fits well.
Okay, all right. I get the comfort part. It just looks ridiculous. Is it hair in the back and then this bowl on the front of his head?
It's just the front piece kind of covers the eye, and then it just goes around the back, the mask, and it's got a little crank on the back to kind of tighten it.
That I've seen. Yep.
Yeah. So it's pretty neat.
I've never seen one that doesn't make you look ridiculous. Fair. That's fair. That's fair, Dan. That's fair.
Here's the.
It's why Joe sent me his old one, and I still haven't put it on. I feel terrible. It's sitting there. I'm just like, I need to do this.
I mean, the quest is also like as smooth as you get, right? But no matter what, you still look like a member of Daft Punk.
And yes, 2D Relapse, you missed the Daft Punk discussion. We opened the
You
show
did.
with
We
it.
opened the show with it again. It's feel free to give us a watch. I mean, we're just more lamenting the fact that they're no longer with us in musical fashion.
For now,
but
for now. We look forward to the reboot as we reboot everything, right?
Maybe that's what they're doing. They're robots. They need to reboot.
It's a reboot. That's exactly right.
If you haven't played PSVR, it is a good entry level way to play some of the best VR games you can play. I think one of the best VR games ever made is on it with Astro Boy, Boy Rescue on PlayStation VR. You can't play it any way else. It is a platformer in VR, which works so good. It's like you didn't know you needed it until you play it that way, and you're like, holy crap, this is an awesome way to play a platformer. And
I believe it.
Yes, so you could find them for about $100, $150 to plug it into your PSVR or to your PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5.
Because does it work in your PS5 if you plug in the old equipment?
It does. As a matter of fact, if you have if you have the PS4 or if you have the headset, you go to Sony's website. They have a site that you can go to where they'll send you an adapter to make it work with the.
Oh, nice! All right, so they thank
free.
you for investing in that hardware. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So I did it the month that my PlayStation came out, and they sent it to me in a week or so.
That's not bad at all. Yeah,
randomly. Why can't I look like Google Glass? I mean, I would. So I think that would be more augmented reality versus full submersive.
And you need to block out the rest, right? Or else it's the sensory. You get overwhelmed, I would assume, with too much there.
They do, Adam. The PS4 and the PS5 do play together, especially if you're playing some cross-play games for sure. That's kind of why this generation has been so weird. A lot of the games that are out for both systems or can be played.
Yeah, has the Xbox released anything yet? That's like rattling cages, nothing, right? There's no games from Microsoft.
No, I mean that doesn't mean that they're not coming out. I mean they've got a huge lineup. It's just they're losing.
It's really slow drip.
We're looking at month 4 coming up, and we haven't gotten some sort of like, hey, here's the reason to go out and buy an Xbox Series X.
All right, the Medium is actually next month. It's on my list of games for next month. Pergamene, yeah. I'm going to give that one on it. It's on the list.
I'm not sleeping on it, but I'm just saying it is a game that is for Xbox Series X. But it's the Medium. It's not out yet. It's coming out soon. So.
No, Medium's out.
Did it come out?
You can play it now. Yeah, it's on the pass, dude.
Well,
give it a whirl. Yeah,
give it a whirl. There you go. See, but that's what I'm talking about. Like
I made February Tactics month, and March would be Medium probably, and along with a couple others.
It's a game that I didn't even feel it come out. Like where?
Oh, so it's it's a big game. I thought it was going to be short. I'm excited for a big game. Then that's cool.
Cool.
Awesome.
All right then. Well, that's good to know.
Cool. Everyone is on Substack. Anything else?
Yes, I'll be watching it again this weekend with my kiddos. We watched it last year for the first time. Interstellar 555 is a fantastic film. If you're not familiar with it, it is an anime. Done by to the music of the Discovery album.
Yep. You're not a real Daft Punk fan unless you know what Interstellar 555 is.
Right.
That's what it's all about.
That's the way it works.
Here's we're closing out, right? So I want to give some information out there. Right? So Adam, thanks for jumping on. You said you weren't. Thanks for jumping on.
Yeah.
Medium is done. Everyone it is on Substack, and that's a joke on Pergamene, who's got a pretty good subscription on some neat things. He's curating some awesome things. He puts out an article, I think either Saturday or Sunday. I don't actually, Pergamene, just throw your link up there. I don't actually know how to do that, but maybe we could throw it up on the flip.
Throw your link up, and I'll throw it up real quick. Just so that
he does music, movies, books, and video games. So he covers a lot of the stuff we talk about on this show with a much deeper and personal look. So I dig it. And then our buddy Galen, the Heretofore band. Who did the music of our original
Mid-Geek
Crisis, a fan of the show. He just got one of his games. He's a game designer. He just had one of his games chosen for the short list on what is it called? A short list for a game design competition. The game's called.
Let me pull that up. I think it's an Australia one, right?
Super Sniper. Yeah. So congratulations to Galen's Games. We love it when our nerds and our geek friends are out there creating and doing things. So congratulations to Galen. Congratulations to Pergamene on the crossover appeal. Substack. It's pretty darn cool. I read it every time it comes out. I liked his hot take on the medium, and there was another thing he talked about which now escapes me completely. I'm terrible at promos, but he's got a good stuff out there on Pergamene. So and then Galen's Games. Here it is, Galen Games. I don't know if we got permission to show that person's face, but that's okay. He's got a cool game called Super Snipers. It's in the finalist group, so I wanted to give a shout out and congratulations to Galen. Also, join the group if you want to play test some games.
Yeah, do you remember the type of game it is?
It's a sniper game. You're two snipers hunting each other across the table or across terrain. So those three things up front are the buildings that you're searching for, and you have to use those pentominoes, the Tetris pieces, to sight in on your target. And then once you sight in the bottom board, you have to eliminate other targets and zoom in again with pentominoes. At the same time, they're trying to find you. So there's a finding phase and then a sniper phase. It's pretty neat.
It's a little battleship.
Yeah, kind of. It's got some build, find them and then build some ways out there. It's real simple, real fast. It's a good like time filler between games. I don't know if there's a voting process, but if you follow Galen's Games, he'll let you know for sure.
Yeah, give him a follow. He's got a few games that he's kind of pushed out there.
I've play tested a few of them. Galen, apologies. I think this is your best. Right? He's done a bunch of games. I think this was the best, smoothest.
I'm a fan of the gum one.
Oh, you know what? I haven't gone back to the new version of the gum one, so I should go back and give that. Yeah, there it is. Cardboard Edison Award competition. Thank you, Adam. Thank you. So that's good. He's a finalist in congratulations to our folks who are out there doing stuff. Let us know if you're doing stuff, and we're happy to let the other 8 people that watch us know about it so that they can. Hey, I mean, like we all need to high five each other and celebrate each other's victories. So go out there and get some victories, folks.
Absolutely. Again, like, subscribe, share, tell your friends to come join us. We always have a better show when we have a lot of fan. A lot of fan. Thank you.
Plus is that the one you're making fun of? -6.
-6. Our producer who is not here today. That's okay. That's fine. He's got better things to do than watch us schmucks make a show. Schmooze. But yeah, again, share. Have people kind of jump in. Again, we have a better show when we have people kind of interacting with us for sure. If you don't, of course, this old man right here will look at you. And
also wear your mask. I know you might have been vaccinated, but you still got to put that mask on.
Absolutely. And again, we love you guys. Take care.
Like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff.
Yep, all that. Love you. Episode 115. We're out of here. Brought to you by Sister T.
Be kind, everyone.
Be kind in the can.